Today on the channel we're going to do some science experiments with 3 guitars and my 1974 MKII Marshall Plexi. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get this Marshall set up. I'm going to run it through my Bugera power soak unit. This is a pretty nice device. It colors the amp just a little bit, but not tremendously. So what it does is I can control my master level with this dial, and then I can dime out my Marshall here and get all the gain through the power soak. I don't use this a whole lot because I've heard stories that power soaks will cause your tubes to go bad quicker, that it makes the amp run a lot hotter than it should. I don't know if any of that's true. There's enough people online saying that is the case. So I really don't use it a whole lot, but anyway, we're going to run this device. This is really simple. It's got a speaker out, and I'm going to run 16 ohms out to my cabinet and be able to crank this baby up so we can get lots of gain and let this thing sing and sound like it's supposed to for the demo. So let's get it hooked up. Okay, so I've got this thing set up. I've got my Friedman back on top of the Marshall just to get amps out of the way on the floor, but I've got the Bugera sitting on this stool. Reason being is the mic cable on these old Marshall cabinets, the output for the, or the input I should say, for the cabinets are on the very bottom. Wish it was on the top like some of the more modern cabinets are, but I had to put this over here so I could get the speaker line ran to the cabinet and the back of the amp. I've got the amp set pretty crunchy. It's not super overdriven. We'll do various tests of levels of gain, but I've got it set where it's not really super flubby. I've got the channel 1 and the channel 2 kind of set at midnight. I've got the other channels kind of set straight up and down. Got the mids boosted just a little bit, but I didn't want it to be real flubby. I kind of want that nice crunchy Marshall feel. But through the demo, we'll do a couple different gain stages as far as levels here that'll get it kind of soupy and crunchy. Obviously, I've got this thing jumped. When you jump the channel 1 and the 2 together, which is this cable, it allows you to get the more distortion, more gain. This is a bright channel. That's more of a bassier channel. If you were going to run like a Strat into this thing, I would recommend running it. If you don't jump it anyway, if you're gonna run a Strat, if you plug in the channel 2, this is a little bit warmer on this side. This is a lot brighter, which is more tuned for like Les Pauls and such. But when you jump these channel inputs, you get the best of both worlds pretty much. You get channel 1 and 2 volume, so you can blend the treble-y side and the bassier side together and get a really nice warm tone. Otherwise, these amps can tend to be a little bit too bright in my opinion, but it's really nice when you can blend both of them together. And I've reduced the flubbiness basically to my ears in the room here, the studio room. So I'm going to set up a couple microphones. I'm going to put a 57 on it and a condenser microphone on the cabinet and run it in stereo. I'll run just a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay, just a touch, just to give it some ambience, and we'll do some tests. It's going to be fun. Okay, everybody, we got it all set up. We've got the test guitars ready to go. This is what's on the docket for today. We've got a 2021 R9 Murphy Lab Les Paul, beautiful. This thing's got custom buckers in it. And next to it, we've got a close relative. It's an Epiphone Carina, inspired by Gibson Custom Shop Explorer. This is a beautiful guitar. It's got pro buckers in it, to my knowledge. And then we've got Frankie. This is the EVH Frankenstein with the Wolfgang pickup in it, right? I do not have the neck pickup active in this particular guitar. So we're going to do Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul Murphy Lab, an Epiphone Carina Explorer inspired by Gibson Custom Shop, and a EVH Wolfgang. What we've got here is a condenser microphone and a 57 running off of one of the 1974 cabinets. Love these basket weave cabinets. They've got greenbacks in them. Killer cabinets, and of course my MKII, which is a 74. Gonna run this through Pro Tools. Put a little delay, put a little reverb on it just for sauce, and see if these guitars sound similar, see what the differences are, and just have some fun with it. Can't wait. All right, so we've got the R9 ready to go. I've got the amp on standby. We are at half volume right now, so the channel 1 and channel 2 volume is straight up at midnight, okay? And the Bajera is set, the power soak is set, you know, probably around 2 or 3, so it's at a really manageable level. It's pretty loud in here. I'm not sure how many dBs we're at. We're probably at about 100, but it's not unbearable. I'm gonna limit my talking in this video because it's really hard to edit my voice out with the amplifier going back and forth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little bit on this guitar with this setting on the amp. I'm going to show you rolled back volume on both pickups and full volume on both pickups. I'm going to do the same with each guitar, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the gain up to about 3/4 of the way and do the same thing, a quick demo on the guitars, and then we'll go full blast and check that out as well. Okay, so we'll start with the R9 in the neck pickup. It's a little bit noisy, so here comes the hum. I'm going to turn the standby off. I've had this amp retubed and had new caps put in it, and it's really healthy. It smells, though. I mean, this amp is old, so it smells kind of like burning parchment in here a little bit. It's got a little. It sounds like old. It smells like old antiques or something in this room. I can really tell I'm using a tube amp. So hopefully we won't have any fires or anything crazy, any blowouts. All right, so let's check it out. Okay, so in real time, I'm going to switch guitars, we're going to move over to the Explorer. I love this Carina inspired by Gibson Explorer. This thing is about 6.5 pounds. They're a little pricey for Epiphones, but I think they're worth it. All right, so very resonant guitar. So let's check out the neck pickup. I'm going to roll it back a little bit. As you can tell, that guitar has a little bit of a problem in the bridge volume pot. It's kind of scratchy. I need to spray some deoxit in there and see if I can clear it out. Otherwise, I'll have to replace that pot. Sometimes I got to tap on it to get it to go. All right, so let's check this one out. Treble all the way up, rolled back a bit on the neck. Okay, let's move over to the EVH Frankie. Let me see if I can get this back in here without knocking these guitars together. All right, so here's Frankie. I tuned all these up prior to this video, so hopefully they're behaving on me. All right, so standby off. Here goes Frankie. Roll back a little bit. Okay, so for the next test, I'm going to roll up, increase level 1 and level 2, both up to about 3/4. So if you're looking at a clock, they'd be at about 3. Everything over here is pretty much straight up at midnight, okay? Just to have a nice equal balance of EQ here and not to get it too flubby. I kind of EQ'd it and tweaked it a little bit before the demo, and this sounded the best for recording, everything straight up. So we're just adjusting the gain, right? All right, so let's turn the standby off and we'll go neck pickup. The difference is night and day between half volume and 3/4. So pretty crazy stuff. All right, I get a little bit wrapped up playing. I like it so much, so I'm trying not to make this super long. All right, so let's go with this one, neck pickup. I can't wait to try the Frankenstein. This is a really cool amp. I don't play it very often, you know. It's just something I don't plug into a lot. With my YouTube videos, I'm running my modelers a lot and just going direct. But it's so nice to sit in front of this amp and just let it rip ass. Flubby there with the EVH. It's more gain, but the EVH has a different voicing in that pickup, so it sounds a little flubby. These Gibson pickups have a little bit more brightness and clarity to them. Not that that's better, but for this setting it is. All right, now we're full volume, all right, full blast. I'm going to bring the treble up just a little bit and the mids up just a little bit because it tends to get a little squishy. The Bugera does make this amp sound a little bit mellower as far as tone. This is a super bright amp. Without the Bugera, if it's full blast, it's really, really crunchy and crispy. The Bugera gives it a little bit more drive, and it softens the tonal aspects of the amp a little bit. So I kind of like that for in-room, but live you need that barky bitiness to cut through, and that's kind of true for the Marshall tone. So anyway, just thought I'd share that. So full blast with a power soak, okay? Helps if you turn the standby on. Here we go. Neck pickup. All right, that is like super out of control. It's kind of like getting hit in the head with a sledgehammer covered in fur or foamy fur. So let's check this out. That R9 is super hot, so maybe this one will sound a little bit different. Full blast, neck pickup. A little bit more controlled tonally than the R9 on that setting. So now the last one for this demo can be the Frankie full blast. So here we go. Awesome. All right, cool. So at the very end there, what I did is I took the volume for channel 2 and I turned it back quite a bit because it was so flubby, but like so bottom endy that I wanted to bring the bottom end down, because channel 2 is the low end of this amp, and channel 1 still active. I left it wide open, so it brought that high end out, and I maxed out the middle and the treble, and I brought up the presence, which gave it some more clarity. I think that the trick, really, the secret sauce to running these amps probably is running them pretty hot without a power soak, but putting some form of gain pedal in front of them, like a Klon or a Tube Screamer, or some kind of distortion pedal, maybe a DS1, something of that nature, a Sans amp, Tech 21, to get the true nature out of the amp, add a little bit of push in the front end. That would maintain some of the clarity and the bite of the amp. But overall, this thing sounds great. And next demo, what I'll do is I will see if I can isolate this cabinet and mic it up without the Bajera. But pretty interesting how these three guitars differed from each other. Hope you like the science experiment. Hope you like this kind of content. If you do, let me know. I'll do more of it. I've got plenty of amps and plenty of fun stuff we can experiment with. Give me some ideas and some things you'd like to see, and I will put that in the gray basket and in the docket for consideration, as long as I can do it and it sounds fun. What the heck. So anyway, comment below. Please consider subscribing. It helps me out a whole lot. And until next time, have a great day. Peace out.